guys, it's Diana. Welcome back to my channel, and today I want to talk about episode 7 of In the Dark. I want to start off by saying that I am trying something new. I'm filming this video on my phone. I have notes that I took that are on my, computer. I took them on my phone. They, went up into the cloud and now they're on my computer. And I don't know, we'll see what happens. Hopefully it's great. Hopefully the audio is good. But, yeah. This episode was titled The One That Got Away. And it was quite a doozy. So the episode starts off with Murphy and Max, and they're talking, and Max, mentions that he is the money launderer for Darnell, and Darnell eventually shows up at the cafe restaurant place that they're in. Murphy tries to explain to Darnell that Wesley killed Tyson, and he is not apt to believe her at first. She tries to explain the situation using the condiments that are on the table for some reason. The beginning was cutting away between the three of them at the restaurant and the police trying to, go through the autopsy report and everything, because it had come back that Tyson was strangled and then he was shot. So I don't know. We find out that Tyson and Wesley had both been working for Darnell for about 2 years, and Murphy is led to believe that Wesley probably found out that Tyson was also working for Evan, the flower shop guy, and that when he discovered that, he assumed that Tyson was being a traitor and shot him, because it is confirmed in the autopsy report at the police station that the gunshot wound that Tyson died from eventually ends up being a match for the gun that Wesley carries, but I'll get into that a little later. After Murphy tries to explain this, Darnell then, thinks that she's onto something, and he and Max implore her not to go to the police because they say that Wesley will kill her if, he finds out that she ratted him out. I don't know why everybody wants her dead. So of course she doesn't listen to them, and she goes straight to the police and asks to talk to Dean. Instead of, listening to them and going to the police, whatever, Darnell also goes to see his friend in prison, who apparently the person that Darnell had been seeing in prison the entire time is a woman. I seriously thought that they were a guy. They sounded kind of like a little masculine. I also have low vision, and I'm not watching this show with audio description. However, I do believe that their name is Nia, and Darnell did refer to them with female pronouns. So I'm assuming that it's a woman. If someone knows, please correct me or tell me, because I literally have no idea. Anyway, so he tells them that they believe that Wesley's gone rogue, and of course, they don't believe Darnell, and even if they, I don't know, basically the person in prison says that they'll handle it because they have all these contacts and they're pretty high up in the chain. Meanwhile, at Guiding Hope, Hank reveals to Felix that they're going bankrupt, and Felix is actually running up the company's credit card by buying snacks for everybody, and he says, oh, we'll cut back on the bubble water and we'll have people bring their own snacks and blah blah blah. But they're not in a good financial situation, and Hank is very tense because apparently he smokes weed and his dealer is out of town or something ridiculous. I don't know. He can't arrange to meet his dealer or something because he doesn't want Joy to find out, obviously. So he asks Felix to go and meet his dealer for him. And Felix, because he tries to please everybody, God love him, ends up lying to Hank's face and saying that he also, in fact, smokes weed, which, come on, Felix, you're way too uptight to be smoking weed. Let's be real. So anyway, Hank buys it, and he's like, oh great, you can go get the weed, blah blah blah. And Felix is like, great. And eventually he gets the number for Jess's dealer from Jess, and he goes and meets her in the park, and it's a really hilarious and awkward exchange.
Hi.
Hi. Oh. Look, I get what you're doing, but I can't really be hit on right now. I'm kind of in the middle of something.
Yeah, buying weed.
Nope. Absolutely not.
You got my number from Jess. She sent a picture of you.
Oh. Oh, so you're the... Huh. Okay. Well, do you have the stuff? Because I got the money.
Okay, El Chapo.
So to be clear, you weren't hitting on me? Because we could exchange numbers or...
Well, we can just exchange the drugs. That's cool, too.
So that's literally all we see of Felix in this episode, except for another bit kind of closer to the end, but I'm going to get to that a little later. We're at the police station. Murphy is talking to Dean and Jules, and she is just completely all in on the fact that she had recognized Wesley's voice from the confrontation at the flower shop and from when she had heard him talk the night before outside Max's food truck. So she's like, we got to do something. We got to get him. And they really don't have enough evidence to go on that. However, Jules comes up with a great idea to do a voice lineup, which I think is a pretty reasonable accommodation given this whole circumstantial thing. So they do the voice lineup. There's a scene where Murphy, Jules, and Dean are all behind the glass of the one-way window, so they can obviously see out, and nobody can see inside where they are, and they can see all the men in the lineup. Murphy asks if Dean is in the room with them, and Jules says yes, but because of the situation, they can't have a male voice speaking because they believe that it will compromise the evidence that they're trying to gather or something. So she says hi to Dean, and he just gives her 2 knocks on the counter or whatever that they're in front of, and it's kind of funny. So they do the lineup. Murphy was right. Seriously, it's not a surprise. She picked Wesley out of the lineup. He's great. He's going to jail. Episode over. Meanwhile, we see Chloe, who I love. She's fantastic. Kelly Walton is doing a great job acting in this show. Props to her. So Dean goes out on another date with Chelsea, the bartender, and Murphy offers to watch Chloe. And Dean is very apprehensive about letting her do that, and Murphy's like, oh, it'll be fine. We'll sit in my apartment, we'll watch a movie, we'll order pizza, blah, 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 it's good. So Dean is like, okay, it's fine, we'll do it. So Chloe comes over. She and Murphy are hanging out. They're sitting out on the fire escape eating pizza, and Chloe is confiding in her that she has a crush on a boy that she goes to school with. And so Murphy is trying to coach her on how to approach this, just to basically be herself is the moral of the story. Meanwhile, we cut to Dean and Chelsea sleeping together, which literally has nothing at all to do with this episode. Chloe manipulates Murphy pretty dang easily into taking her to the mall, which is where her crush Billy works. He works at a kebab place in the food court or whatever. So they go to the mall. Murphy notably does not bring Pretzel with her to the mall. Murphy hates going to the mall. Throughout this entire process of them in the mall, she, just keeps talking about how she hates it. So there's this really great scene of her and Chloe on the carousel that's in the middle of the mall.
Why are you so nervous to talk to a stupid boy?
He's not gonna like me.
It's not true. I like you. I only like 3 people.
Why would he want to go out with me when he could go out with a regular girl?
Okay, first of all, being regular sucks. If anyone called me regular, I'd jump off the building. Second of all, we're just as cool as everybody else. Actually, we're way cooler than everybody else.
I don't know.
I mean, look at us. We snuck out. We're at the mall. We're riding these dumb horse things. My God, I solved a murder today. Your dad can't even do that.
He actually solves a lot.
Okay, the point is, we're badass women, you and I, okay? And if he doesn't like you, there's millions of other dudes who will.
Really?
Yes, so let's just go do this before your dad comes back and kills me.
No, I hate my outfit. My dad picked it out.
Oh, jeez.
Her outfit isn't bad. It's just jeans and a pair of Uggs or something, and then her shirt is blue and it has little white things on it, and then she has a coat on or whatever over it. And so Murphy ends up taking her shopping, and there's a little montage of the 2 of them going into a store or 2 and they're shopping. I'll put a picture so you can see it, but it's just, I don't know. They do all this just so Chloe can walk up to this boy who's passing out kebab samples and nervously say hello to him and then, you know, she realizes that, oh, he actually might like me or whatever, and he does. It seems like he does like her, and he says that he'll text her, and that's great, and so they leave, and Murphy calls an Uber to take them home. However, this is where things go really bad. Because Murphy's an idiot, and she doesn't confirm with the driver, like with the car that pulls up, hey, what's your name, what's my name, where are you taking us, like a normal person who's getting an Uber would. She just gets in the car with Chloe. The car, actually, the driver just honks the horn, and she's like, oh, that's our car. Which, like, hello, you don't, first off, you have neither of you have any usable vision. You're not using, anybody with a right frame of mind would have, like, quadruple checked that they're getting in the right Uber, especially if you're blind. Like, people usually call and tell the driver, hey, I'm blind, can you look for me, because I can't see you, because, like, hello. They're in the back seat of the car, and they're driving away from the mall, and Murphy gets a call on her phone from her Uber driver, and she then realizes that this is the wrong car, and the driver is Wesley, and he's like, oh, what's wrong, Murphy, you don't recognize my voice? You know, cut to commercial, because Wesley was bailed out on $500,000 bail or something, and Darnell didn't know until Jules told him, so he says that it was probably Nia, because Nia has, what's his name? Nia has Wesley's back. I can't keep track of any of these people. So Wesley is driving Murphy and Chloe out to, like, the middle of nowhere, Illinois, and Murphy just keeps telling him, like, hey, kill me, do whatever, but, like, leave Chloe alone, because she's a kid, and it's true, she's just a kid, she has nothing to do with this. There's a flashback to the previous year or something, where Murphy and Tyson are walking through a store or whatever, and she confides into Tyson that she doesn't remember how to write because, you know, she had lost her vision such a long time ago, and she wanted to make Jess a birthday card, so Tyson helps her make a birthday card. Well, she had that flashback when she was signing for her tab at the bar, but Chloe gives her a stick of lipstick, and Murphy takes it and writes 911 on the inside of the window in the back seat of the car. So that's, like, you know, way to go, hello, you're in this dangerous life or death situation. She writes 911 on the side of the window. Literally everybody that they're driving past sees it. Eventually they get out to the middle of nowhere, Illinois, and Wesley pulls out a gun and holds it to Murphy's head, and then they hear sirens and the police are just coming. Meanwhile, we have Max, Jess, and Darnell all meeting up and taking Jess's car to go find Murphy, because Jess is still tracking Murphy's phone, and Felix is freaking out because he thought that Jess was gonna go with him to get the weed or something. He doesn't realize that, like, Murphy is literally about to be murdered. They eventually show up. This is, like, after Wesley had left Murphy and Chloe in the middle of nowhere because he heard the sirens. So they show up, they see Wes. Max and Darnell get out of Jess's car and just start beating the crap out of him. And they beat him unconscious, like literally just punch him a couple times in the head or whatever. And they put him in the trunk of Jess's car. They don't lock the trunk because this is a CW show and we have to upplay the drama. So Wesley escapes out of the trunk while the three of them are talking about what they should do. Jess obviously wants to go to the police. Max and Darnell just say that they'll take care of it. So Wesley gets out of the car. He runs, like, away from them into the street and is literally run over by an entire vehicle. So, like, karma's awful, right? But let's be real, he deserved it. So, Wesley's 100% dead. Jess is standing there paralyzed with fear, which I resonate with on a very high level. I can't even imagine. Max and Darnell are running back to her car and they're telling her to get in the car and drive so they can, you know, leave. And she just doesn't know what to do. Like, the whole rest of the episode, she's, like, numb, and she's like, I should go to the police. I witnessed a murder. But Darnell was like, you know what? His death was karma, which I agree. Like, kudos to the person who ran him over. It's just, oh my god. So Dean obviously gets wind of what happened with Chloe and Murphy because he's a detective. And also Jules had been texting and calling him the entire time that he was with Chelsea, telling him that Wesley had been bailed out and that Murphy was in danger because, you know, Wesley knows about Murphy and he put two and two together, and Murphy gets pissed. Like, her anonymity was breached basically, and she thought that she was safe and the lineup was anonymous and everything was fine, and it obviously wasn't because that whole situation happened. So Dean takes her and Chloe back to Murphy's apartment, tells Chloe to wait out in the hallway, and Dean tells Murphy that he doesn't want her seeing him or Chloe ever again. And Murphy is understandably upset. I don't blame Dean for wanting to keep her away from him and his daughter, but first off, Chloe was the one who manipulated her into going to the mall, and she made a point, which she's right about, that she thought that she was safe, that the whole police lineup thing, everything up until this point had been confidential, and that she would be fine and she shouldn't have to worry because Wesley was supposed to be in jail. Nobody knew that he had gotten bailed out, and it was just awful. So we switched to Hank and Felix, and they're in like the back office at Guiding Hope or whatever, smoking a joint, and Hank, of course, still thinking that Felix smokes weed, offers to smoke with him or whatever, and Felix is like initially not having this at first, but he, you know, does. And Hank goes into the whole thing and tells Felix that they're really bankrupt and they're gonna have to shut down the organization. Felix, remember 2 episodes ago when we found out that Felix's family is filthy rich and his parents have a lot of money and he doesn't want a dime of it? Well, Felix, high out of his mind, but also, like, coherent enough to know what's happening, walks away, gets his checkbook, comes back, and writes out, like, whatever the amount of his trust fund is, basically. Tears off the check and gives it to Hank. So he bought Guiding Hope. Felix goes to the bar, still high out of his mind, and tells Jess and Murphy that they're looking at their new boss. And it's the funniest thing because Darnell is there too.
Oh my god, thank god you guys are here.
Felix? Wait, Felix is here?
I just had the most incredible day of my life. You're looking at your new boss.
What? What are you talking about?
I bought Guiding Hope.
The hell's a Guiding Hope?
I don't know, man. The next episode is Jessica Rabbit, and basically it looks like that they find Wesley's watch in the back of Jess's trunk still, and somehow it ends up in the dump, and they try to find it. I don't know. I definitely am ranking this episode as the top of this entire show. It was suspenseful. There was a lot happening. It wasn't all drawn out and slow like all the other episodes had been, pretty much for the most part. I really liked it. I loved seeing Murphy and Chloe hanging out together. I really am hoping that this whole ban on them seeing each other isn't going to last that long. The episode actually ends with Jules at the morgue, and I think Dean is there too, I can't remember. But they're talking to the person at the morgue, the forensic scientist, whatever, and they are uncovering Wesley's body because, you know, he's dead. They say that the handprints that they found on Tyson's neck from the strangulation bruises don't match Wesley's hands. So even though Wesley did shoot him, which I think I had said this earlier, someone else strangled him. Murphy found him when he was probably still alive, kind of, like, you know, not completely dead yet, and then Wesley must have moved him and killed him and put him in a bag and put him somewhere. I don't know. I mean, now Wesley is he's the one who delivered the final blow, but who actually killed Tyson? Some people are saying that they think it's Darnell, but come on, like, that would be too predictable, right? That it's the cousin. A couple of things that I saw on Twitter related to this episode. Some people were saying that Murphy should have been using a signature guide when signing her check at the bar. And for those of you who don't know what a signature guide is, it's like a little plastic or cardboard or whatever, kind of like a frame, And so the inside of it, you line it up with the line on the receipt or whatever that you have to sign, and you have like the whole inside of that little frame to write your signature. Some of them have a little string going across them. You have to like do like, you know, a J or a Y or a Z or like in cursive or whatever that goes below the line. But I know so many people with no usable vision who don't use signature guides, and if they have one, they might have it on them somewhere, or they might just have it somewhere at home. They don't know where it is. So I don't think that that's an inaccuracy. I think that that's just a matter of choice and opinion. I have enough vision where like I can pretty much find the line and sign. If it's dim lighting, I'll just like sign wherever, because usually it really doesn't matter where you sign as long as they have a signature that they can process. But like, to say that it's an inaccuracy that she didn't use a signature guide, I don't know, I disagree. Like, yeah, she could have used one, but it's not like the end of the world. Also, someone else had said that they thought it was inaccurate that she didn't call the Uber driver ahead to tell them that she was blind, which, I mean, that's ultimately what led to this whole issue in the first place, but that's for the drama of it all. I do agree that, you know, in the future, she should definitely confirm what car she's getting into, but I think she learned her lesson. Anyway, I hope you liked this video. If you did, feel free to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the bell. I can't tell you what to do, but I'll see you next time. Bye.